attendance. We really appreciate your joining us. Just a couple of housekeeping things that we need to take care of first. This session will be recorded and it has started now, so just so you know that. Also, your cameras are off right now, unless you're a presenter like Dr. Kiros right here. Hi there. But please keep your mics muted. And during the session, if you could keep the mics muted, but then if you do have a question, you can always use the little hand icon up at the top there in reactions. And also feel free to use the chat, because Deepa Dio and all of us are here to help answer questions. And then we'll get to those questions as we have time. So just leave those in the chat. Also, the faculty development credit link, I think somebody had a question about that, and there will be an attendance link if you can get faculty development credit with your EPCC ID. We also will be keeping attendance through Teams in case you need to have that verified. But Lorena has already posted that in the chat. Today we have with us Dr. Andrea Quiros, who is our Director of QEP. We have Tony Badillo, who is our Dean of Dual Credit and Early College High School Programs. Lorena Gonzalez, who is my Dual Credit Instructional Coordinator. And I'm Sue Selk, and I just wanted to welcome you to this session. So, Andy, I think you can take it away with the QEP. This is, by the way, very important information. Deepa Dio will talk a little bit more to you in a little while about our SACS COC visit, and this is something that is kind of related to that, right?
Yes, yes. Hello, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. In my very super slow computer. Can everyone see my screen? I need to hear a verbal yes, please, by someone.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Well, maybe it'll work for me in a minute. Okay, so hi. Thank you so much for having me right now. I really appreciate it. As you said, I'm Dr. Andrea Quiros, but my friends and colleagues call me Andy. And I'm here to talk to you about our QEP. Let's see, is the slideshow just going to let me do it? Maybe it'll let me do it. Ah, now it will. Yay. Okay. Maybe it will. There it is. Ta-da. Okay. So, our new QEP stands for Quality Enhancement Plan, and it's part of our SACS COC accreditation. Our new QEP, and it's done once every 10 years. And this is our new one, Find Your Way, Connect, Discover, Succeed. That little logo is our new logo. Our goal is to improve student success through increased communication and ongoing career exploration to empower students to take ownership of their career and academic paths. Now, what's really important here is, the overall goal is that we feel if students take more ownership of their career and academic paths, more students will graduate with fewer semester credit hours. That's what we're hoping for. Now, this is a very extraneous picture of Deadpool, but he just gives me joy, and this is kind of dry stuff. So everyone take a moment to enjoy, and we get to the dry stuff. So this was developed over the past 3 years. I'm not going to go through all the details, but I just wanted you to know this isn't something that we just pulled out of thin air. This was a long process that included a lot of surveys and research and task force pilots. It had to be connected to our strategic plan, and of course, it was always connected to our overall data. So when we talk about what we're doing, this was a very well thought out plan that was developed in conjunction with a lot of different stakeholder representation. We have 3 objectives, and this is the one that really has the most to do with dual credit. Students will use various EPCC communication methodologies to learn about and take advantage of what EPCC has to offer in terms of programs and event opportunities. Now, one of the things we're really proud of is a brand new video. One of the things that we found for students is that many of them, before they apply, do the Apply Texas application, they really don't know all the different possible careers open to them. They know some of the big ones, but they don't really know the program names, the degree names, what kind of careers they can get. So this new video that we have is what we're hoping students see before they do apply Texas. I'm going to stop sharing for a second because I have to reshare a screen. I'm going to show you this video. It's a very short one. This is the one, the shorter one is on our admissions site, admissions checklist, but the longer one is on our YouTube channel. And I'm just going to be easier if I inbox, calendar. Aha, here we go. Come on, computer, you can do it. I call her Betsy. Sometimes she's willing to work with me and sometimes not. And it's coming. I had it all set up, but maybe it'll just take another minute. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome.
Just waiting for the video.
Yeah. Come on, computer, do your thing. Here we go. So it is on the apply for check, so I'm going to show it right now. I'm hoping that the video sound will work great in this format. Come on, streaming, you can do it. Poor old Betsy. I really am hoping for a new computer one day. Maybe Santa will bring it. You know how when you check everything out right before a presentation, everything works perfectly? I'm having one of those moments. Come on now, do your thing. I might have to give up and have you guys look at it separately. Ah, here we go.
Hi, I'm
Andy, I wonder if Lorena can link it through her computer instead.
I'm sorry?
Maybe Lorena can go to that link instead?
Okay, yeah. So I tell you what, Lorena, can you try it? And I tell you what I'll do, I'm gonna stop sharing. And I'm going to, how about if I keep going with the presentation until Lorena, you're ready?
I'm ready. I have it.
Awesome, go for it.
Hi, I'm Fernando Reyes, counselor at EPCC.
And I'm Vanessa Bretado Monroy, counselor at EPCC. We're here to help you enroll at El Paso Community College. Before we get started, let's talk about the college.
EPCC's programs of study are divided into 8 areas of study. These 8 areas provide easy to follow pathways to meet your academic and career goals.
They're grouped together by similar careers. For example, the health sciences area of study includes nursing, sonography, and dental hygiene. Public service includes criminal justice, firefighting, and court reporting.
Arts, humanities, and communication includes mass communication, music, and fashion technology. Business includes accounting, business and economics, real estate, and office administration.
Education includes child development and teacher preparation. Industry, manufacturing, and construction includes automotive technology, culinary arts, and HVAC careers.
Science, technology, engineering, and math includes architecture and computer science technologies. And social and behavioral sciences includes social work and the only sign language program in the region.
You can learn more and explore our areas of study on our Programs of Study page. You'll need to pick the program and the degree or award name to fill out your application. To know the name of the degree or certificate offered in the program, just click on the program. You can also explore possible careers related to each program. Not sure yet? Try taking the Find Your Match quiz, a free and easy to use tool located on the Programs of Study page.
It's okay if you're still not sure. Just choose the program that interests you the most and let us help you explore careers and majors. If you change your mind later, you can change your major by visiting one of our counselors. Now, you're ready to start the application.
Click on the Apply Texas button. To start, you'll need to create an account. This allows you to save changes and return to the application at a later time. Once you submit the application, we'll send you a letter of acceptance to guide you through the next steps.
And if you're a new student to EPCC, you will be assigned an Early Alert Academic Advisor, also called an EA Advisor, to help you navigate through your first year and complete your educational plan. We also encourage you to sign up for and attend our new student orientation to learn all about the great opportunities offered at EPCC. Our goal is to make sure you have the support you need through this process.
So if you ever have any questions, you can always give us a call or chat with us online with the Get Connected button. Welcome to EPCC.
Ta-da! Okay, let me just quickly share my other screen again. Here we go. So is it gonna be, it's gonna work for me? Yeah, you're gonna work for me from current slide. So that video, the great thing about this video is that not only does it allow students to hear about the programs, how to learn about the careers involved with those programs, but it also it helps our students with that college going culture of, hey, when you come to college after you graduate high school, you're supposed to go to NSO. You're supposed to meet with an academic advisor. You're supposed to create an educational plan. Is it gonna let me do it? Every once in a while, let me do it. Let's see. So we're there. Okay, so can everyone see on my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
It says first of 3 objectives, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so you saw the video. The second thing we're hoping that dual credit can take can participate in is the myepcc.edu. We really want to make this site a place where students go to find out information about events happening at EPCC. In order to make that happen, we're asking faculty and staff to use that request to promote form. It's a brand new form that's on our district forums to populate that site with all the different events going on at EPCC. Where we want to encourage all the faculty to encourage the use of EPCC email because a lot of important information goes through there. And again, that's part of our college going culture. They should be used to, hey, I need to check this separate email if I am a college student. And once they become, once after graduation, they come to EPCC, obviously they should know about NSO and new student orientation and of course come and participate. And the second objective, students will become empowered to use online tools, assignments and events in and out of the classroom to reflect upon and more deeply explore their career and academic paths. So we are asking more faculty, and I'm not sure if dual credit is involved with this or not, to learn more about DegreeWorks. I will talk more about DegreeWorks in just a little bit when I talk about the website. But the thing I do want dual credit faculty to understand is that the disciplines we're asked to choose at least one of the following: a career day event, a career reflection assignment, or an assignment using DegreeWorks. I'm absolutely sure that the different disciplines will reach out to their dual credit counterparts to make sure they know if an assignment is required. But I did want you to know the big picture that we are asking the disciplines to choose one of them. For the career reflection assignments, we are hoping that brand new programs of study page, the one that has the Find Your Match button and all that cool information about careers, that they can use that as a resource for those career reflections. The assignment using DegreeWorks, again, it is discipline centered, and so therefore that information is going to come from the discipline if that's the assignment they chose. I did want to mention that if they do any of these assignments, there is an expectation that the students will do an online survey. The faculty should be given and that should also come from the discipline, the link for that survey. And there's a code at the end of the survey so that faculty can know, hey, did the students take that survey? Well, the students should know the code in order to get credit for taking the survey. Finally, I want to talk about QEP outside the classroom. There are going to be career day events. Now, these career day events, they're going to be on all 5 campuses. They're going to be during the day and some at night. Some will be virtual, some will be in person. And so I'm really hoping that dual credit students can participate. I know that it might be more difficult during the day, but especially if they're virtual and at night, these career days are organized by the disciplines. They have people in the field to talk about certain careers, things that our students may never have had the opportunity to hear about before. So I was mentioning about DegreeWorks on the website. So there is a website, go.epcc.edu/QEP. And on this website is a lot of resources for faculty and staff for the QEP. I didn't mention the Career Day Toolkit because that's a resource for faculty for disciplines to use in order to host a career day. And also it's their responsibility to let me know, hey, this is the number of students that came. There is also an exit survey for after that event as well. But on that website, not only is all this information there, there's a sway that takes like a minute and a half to go through to learn more about our QEP, direct links to things I've been talking about, the toolkit and the request to promote form, as well as for disciplines, that's how they're going to learn how to arrange training for how to do DegreeWorks for their discipline. Now, this has less to do with dual credit. I just kind of want you to know that it's out there, so I won't talk too much about it. The third objective is that once a student comes to EPCC during that first year, that they do that, they meet with their EA advisor and do an educational plan. I just kind of want to mention because it's third, and it's kind of weird only having 2 out of the 3. But this is something that they would do after they come to EPCC after graduating high school. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about are the events coming up. We have 5 great events, 1 on each campus, starting August 31st and going all the way through until September 9th. The last event is Mission Del Paso. It's a movie outside at night. So I'm hoping that some dual credit students might be able to come. I know the others are during the day, but they might still be able to if some of these students are nearby the campus. These are cool events. A lot of money is being spent, so there'll be free food and activities to engage and excite. The movie is something about Spider-Man, No Way From Home, No Way something or other, but the kids picked it out. So, but it's going to be really exciting, and I'm hoping that you can let your students know about these upcoming events. They will be, of course, on our my.epcc site. So that's the whole cabal. Is there any questions? I know I kind of flew through that, but really all the information you need is on that QEP website, and I'm always here for questions anytime. Oh, and by the way, Tejano Passport, I know that is a program that's still going strong. And if you'd like me to come and present about Tejano Passport, where students earn a free medallion for going to different places around town, please let me know.
Thank you so much, Andy. That was really great information. I didn't see anything in the chat about that, but we'll certainly send them to you if there are some questions about it. Okay. Thanks again. That was great information for everybody.
Have a great semester, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Deepa, are you here now?
Yeah, about technology issues, right? I got kicked out of the workshop there for a little bit, but I'm here. Dr. Quiroz, thank you so much for the information. And again, this is connected to our SAC-COC accreditation. And for those of you who have not heard about it, EPCC is accredited, of course, by SAC-COC, the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, Commission on Colleges. And your schools are off sites of EPCC. And just if you ever feel you want to confirm that, go to SAC-COC website, look for El Paso County Community College District, and click on the information for the college. And I bet you will find your school listed there as one of the off-sites. And we have our 10-year reaffirmation for accreditation, and the QEP is part of that. So I'm very grateful for Dr. Quiroz stopping by and giving us some information about the new proposed QEP and how it can benefit really all of our students. But that idea of connecting is so important, right? Especially for young students in high school that need to understand what is the best pathway for them to proceed. So thank you so much. And I believe that Lorena was going to share the presentation for
Yes.
me.
Before we do that, we have a hand raised
Yep,
from
go
Miss
ahead.
Elizabeth Huerta.
Miss
Yes, I was gonna
Huerta
ask to see if
from Havens.
we can have that PowerPoint shared, but you guys already answered my question.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Huerta. But thank you so much. So yes, fall 2022, can you believe it? Seems like just yesterday that we were celebrating graduates in the Don Haskins, right? And now we have a whole new semester. Lorena, can you go to the next slide, please? So a little bit of history, right? So go back to 2001 for a minute. And do you remember where you were, what you were doing? Well, at that time, we had no early college high schools. And our high school enrollment at EPCC was 1% of our enrollment for that fall semester. Then 10 years later, in fall 2011, we had some early colleges, and that made up 4% of our high school or our overall enrollment. And dual credit made up 11% of the enrollment for the institution. Another 10 years later, fall 2021, and look at the big difference, right? About a third of our college enrollment is high school students. And actually, early college, and that includes PTEX, by the way, has taken over enrollment for high school students. And that is great news, because just as a reminder, early colleges and PTEX are specific schools that are targeting underrepresented students in higher education. So that's a fantastic goal for equity, for the betterment of our community. So we fully support early colleges and PTEX. But we need to continue focusing on those students who can earn college credit while in high school, regardless of whether they are aiming at completing while in high school. Next slide. So a little bit about the difference, right, between early colleges and PTEX. And by the way, many of you in your schools had a T-STEM Academy. TEA is phasing out T-STEMs. This is going to be the last year for them. And so we're going to be left by 2023 only with early colleges or PTEX, which are pathways in technology, early college high schools. So they're both college and career readiness school models that target, as I mentioned before, students underrepresented in higher education or at risk of dropping out of school and who might not otherwise go to college. By the way, that comes from the blueprint of the early college and PTEX. Early colleges, as you know, the goal is earning an associate's degree. It could be an Associate of Arts, an Associate of Science, or an Associate of Arts in Teaching before high school graduation. And we're very proud. Many of our students do actually earn an associate's degree and are able to, continue their education to a university. PTEX have another layer to them, and that is that students can also earn a post-secondary certificate in addition to an associate's degree or an industry certification. And they have a third partner, which is business and industry. And these ones are very focused on certain pathways. Those PTEX are now the college and career readiness models that are growing the fastest across the state. There's great interest in more focused pathways for students in certain areas. All right. So a little bit about early college high schools, just an update. So we had our first class that was supposed to graduate in 2010, We actually had students graduating in 2009, so that's why I put that asterisk there. So since then, we've had 5,129 students earned a post-secondary credential while in high school. That is a tremendous number. Very proud of all of those students. And by the way, very proud of those who didn't quite earn an associate's, but earned 42 credit hours or more and were able to transfer with significant number of credits to a university. 68.48% of our students earn a post-secondary credential while in high school. We went down a little bit. Last year, our graduation rate was 71%. This was actually a little bit surprising to me. I was expecting a more significant drop because of the effects of the pandemic. So I think we're still in pretty good shape and much higher than other partnerships in the state and definitely in the nation. So keep up the good work. Fantastic work here. Great success for our early college high school students, right? They graduate, former early college high school students have a graduation rate twice as high than dual credit students and 4 times higher than those who don't take any college courses while in high school. So we see the great advantage of students taking any dual credit. Definitely completing or enrolling in an early college is key to success for those students. And as you know, we have a very close partnership with our friends at UTEP, and we do share a lot of data. So we know from them that those students who, those early college high school students who transfer to UTEP are 3 times more likely to graduate from the university in 4 years and have a higher GPA and higher rates of matriculation to graduate school. So great success of our early college high school students. And again, when I say early college high school, I include PTECs, of course, not only during high school, but after high school graduation and beyond. But as I was mentioning before, PTECs are gaining ground as well, right? So by fall 2023, we will have 18 early college high schools and 18 PTECs partnering with 8 school districts. Yes, that is the number. A little bit now about dual credit. So we all know, right, that dual credit saves time and money. And just to remind everyone in attendance, EPCC waives tuition and fees, and the districts and the high schools pay for textbooks and transportation for students' materials. And so there's no cost to families and students. But the partnerships, of course, bear the responsibility, the financial responsibility in that way. We do, by the way, assess an instructor cost, which is really a fraction of what the tuition would be for the students if we provide the instructor. Go ahead, Lorena. So the average high school student takes 13 credit hours while in high school. And although you may think that that's fantastic, they could actually earn 42 credit hours. By statute, we can offer core curriculum, which is 42 credit hours, career and technical education, and foreign language. Not to early college, high school, and PTEC, that they can complete, of course, a credential, but dual credit. So I feel that although we say that dual credit saves time and money, we're really leaving a lot of credits on the table for those students. So I encourage you, if you have any say in your school, if you want to talk to your friends, try to explore more options for students, not only offering more courses, but inviting more students to participate. Something that we have been talking about in my team of my dual credit counselors is, dual credit is such an important indicator of success, even if students take just one course, that we're encouraging everyone to take at least Education 1300. Take one course. That is a very important and basic course that teaches a student how to be a college student and gives them a very solid foundation in college readiness. And so I'm certain that after students take that one course, they will feel confident that they can take on other courses. And so as a community of educators, I think it is our responsibility to inform, to educate, and to promote those strategies that will make students more successful. And I'm going to quote here Mr. René Chavez. I'm sure many of you have heard him say that. Focus on the Magnificent Eight. These are 8 courses or 24 credit hours that that apply to just about any degree plan. And again, just as a reminder, they include Education 1300, English 1301 and 1302, History 1301 and 1302. Both government courses, very important that students take both, particularly going to transfer to UTEP, and Speech 1321.
Tony, we have a question.
Ms. Duncan
I
has a
know-
question. Yes, Lorena. Ms. Duncan has a question, and that is, are comprehensive students able to begin taking dual credit before their junior year? Absolutely. So college readiness is the key, right? So students who are TSI met or who met some of the readiness standards can enroll as freshmen, as sophomore. I think that inertia, right? Many schools are so used to enrolling students in dual credit only for junior and senior year that when that limitation was lifted, we just continued an automatic pilot. But absolutely, students can take courses as freshmen, as sophomores. Definitely junior year is when most of those courses, right, those Englishes and histories are typically offered. And so that's when they can take significant number of credits. Thank you for the question. So as I mentioned before, early college high school continues growing, right? Enrollment continues increasing, but we did see a significant drop in our dual credit enrollment. We lost about 1,500 students through 2021. And even through the summer of 2022, we're still seeing a decline. So I really encourage you to, look at your schools and see what's the, I understand that some students may have chosen to go into an early college or a PTEC if that was an option. But I think that some students may think that the commitment is more than what they would want to devote to college. And again, remember that just one course really makes a difference. Some updates. We have 2 new deans. This doesn't happen very often. We don't have a lot of transitions or turnover at the college, believe it or not, but this has been a season of either retirements or promotions. And so we're happy to announce that Dean Daniel Guerra is the new Dean of Communications and Performing Arts at Valle Verde campus. He's also the administrative liaison for several early colleges. And Dean Terry Mann is the Dean of Arts, Communication, and Social Sciences at the Trans Mountain campus. Again, administrative liaison to, I believe, Parkland Early College, and coming up probably others, but definitely great new members of the instructional leadership team. And make sure that you get to know them. They are great educators and fabulous team players. I'm very, very happy that they were selected to be our new deans. And we have a few upcoming events. So I hope you know, and I should interject on Wednesday, well, actually tomorrow, if any of you, you may have received an invitation directly from your dean. If this is your first semester teaching for the college, or if you started teaching in the spring, tomorrow is our new faculty orientation. Again, this was by invitation only and only for brand new faculty. On Wednesday, and I think, Lorena, you posted it in the chat, we will have our facilitator workshop. By the way, we always have that workshop on the Wednesday of faculty development at 4:30. It's a good opportunity for facilitators but also for folks who have never been facilitators and are going to serve that role in that role this semester. Good information about Blackboard, about do's and don'ts. And I'm also inviting coordinators to participate, EPCC coordinators, EPCC faculty, so that you can hear what kind of information we provide our facilitators. It's always a very interesting conversation, very good information. So that is going to be on Wednesday, and Lorena submitted, I believe, the information in the chat. Thursday is our division meetings. Again, this is for faculty to attend their respective divisions. You should know who your dean is. If you don't, please ask, and we will definitely identify who your dean is and where you're supposed to go. Those division meetings start at 6 p.m. And immediately following, typically we have a discipline meeting where you can collaborate with faculty from the same area. That is this Thursday. Also coming in September is the Counseling Institute, Friday, September 16th. This is going to be in combination with our recruitment event. So we're going to have it in the afternoon. We usually have it in the morning. This is led by Mr. Rene Chavez. We're going to have some updates. So please join us. You will receive an invitation for that. Counselors, but also administrators. You're welcome to join us for that. If you belong to 2 divisions, that is a really good question. And I'm not sure who asked that question, but if you tell me what you teach, I might, and where, I might be able to assist you. I just see MB.
I believe that is Miguel Vega.
Miguel Vega.
Couldn't figure out how to change his name.
All right. And do we know what high school he teaches at and what he teaches? We can certainly look it up and determine. Criminal Justice at Austin and Education 1300. So Education 1300 is a good, you had your meeting today, I believe. That was a district-wide meeting, so a lot of information, very important to Education 1300. And Austin. I'm not sure now. I have to look at my list to determine. Lorena, Sue, do you know which?
That big Rio Grande, Austin?
Rio Grande. Okay.
I think
So that would probably be Dean Kirby's, right?
I think
So
so.
I believe Dean Kirby is the Dean for Education 1300 as well. Yes. So it should be that division at Rio Grande. Mr. Vega. Dean Brian Kirby. All right. Thank you. Any other question? All right, very good.
Hi, John. This is Melissa. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I had a couple of questions. Well, maybe one big one.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, yes, everybody. Hi, my name is Dr. Melissa Gurrola. I am the coordinator for music at VB. And my question is, I know that it's difficult because of the early college high schools and the dual credit, right? That everybody goes to a different campus. So our problem with music is that we often have no idea who our music faculty is at our early college high schools or, at our other high schools. And so when it comes down to like core assessment or any like really big important thing that we're trying to kind of implement in music across the board for our students, we don't get to see them. It's very hard to get a hold of them. So my question is there a way that we can get them to come to VV for our department meeting?
Great question, Dr. Gurrola. So our institutional research / IT department, because it is a combination of both, have developed some fantastic reports through reporting services. So you said VV music, so you're under Dinguerra, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to use you as an example, right? So you would go to your division office and ask Lulu or Eva to please run the report for dual credit faculty at the high schools. And it is fabulous. We have a suite of reports that are specific for dual credit and early college, and it would tell you which high school and the name of the instructor. And so that way, you can invite, you can see what, and we can certainly use their EPCC email address. We're asking all of the deans to remind their faculty to use their EPCC address because that's so much easier for us to communicate through. But if you have any questions about any particular instructor, so this is my trick and I'll pass it on. I go to their website and I go to their directory and I identify how I can communicate with some specific person if I want to use their ISD email. We don't have it in my office, and maybe we use it when they first get credentialed, but we don't keep up that information in a database. So that would be my recommendation, Dr. Gurrola. Work through your division and you can, and also through your fellow coordinators, right? Because the coordinators are the ones who approve an assignment for a class. I hope that helps.
Yes, yes. And then thank you. I have another question. Okay,
Sure.
so I'm not obviously the district-wide coordinator. I'm the, the VV coordinator. But when was it? Like a semester or two ago, it just so happened that I was helping Dr. Vasquez do some of the evaluations for dual credit. And again, those evaluations go to whatever their home campus is, or to the dean of that campus. And it so happened that the instructor that I evaluated was not teaching all of the content, right? And I think it's crucial for a musician, right, who has the background in music, to be evaluating the instructor who's teaching in music, because we have found that some of the content isn't being taught the right way. And so how do we fix that so that we make sure that that's handled correctly?
Right, so this is a really interesting conversation, Dr. Gurrola, and I can tell you that the speech discipline feels the same way, and the government discipline feels the same way, and just about every discipline, right? And what happens with our smaller districts is that we don't have a discipline coordinator, we have a cluster coordinator. And so the only thing that I can suggest, again, that's outside of my area of authority, but we all have a designated dean for a certain discipline. So music has a designated dean, and also you have a district-wide coordinator. So my suggestion is to work with both of them to determine a process for your discipline to ensure that the content is being delivered. Again, that happens with just about every discipline in the college and campuses that have cluster coordinators. Great questions, though. And again, we want to make sure that our students are getting the education that we're promising. And the courses that are taught at the high school should have the exact same content, right, and quality as courses taught elsewhere. And you may have heard me say this before, especially high school administrators. When you hire a teacher who is credentialed by EPCC, you also have to make sure that the person is in good standing with the institution. And what that means is that all faculty are evaluated. Some faculty need a little bit more mentoring. Perhaps they need additional visits to help them in delivering the course the right way. And we're all for it, right? So we're educators and we help each other. And so thank you for maybe thinking of a way to mentor or to assist maybe a new instructor. And the same thing goes for our adjunct faculty or full-time faculty who are new to the college. I hope I pointed you at least in the right direction, Dr. Burrows.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So there was a question here from Mr. Quiroz that says, I noticed my discipline meeting begins at 4 p.m., which is when my camper gets out. Should I just connect my faculty coordinator to let them know I'll be late? Yeah, absolutely. Please reach out to your coordinator and tell them that you'll be there as soon as you can. Thank you, Mr. Quiroz. And Mr. Science, I hope that I answered the question. You got something out of that. Ms. Borrales' question, Dr. Borrales' question. And then Mr. Tinoco says, are there any updates or changes on EPCC policy in providing accommodations or modifications to students with disabilities? Absolutely not. So for us to grant college credit, we have to follow the college procedures, and that includes assisting students with disabilities. Something that we have been working on is to create an easier pathway for students to connect with our Center for Students with Disabilities. So we typically, just on the college side with our traditional students, we always say students have to self-identify. The high school is a little bit different because students have already typically some background and some documentation. So what we are suggesting to the schools, and we are actually even highlighting it in some of our agreements, is that we can certainly assist the student, the high school can assist the student in connecting with our Center for Students with Disabilities. Again, I always say, there weren't many things good about the pandemic, but something that was, I guess, positive is that we moved so many of our services to virtual services. And so the student does not have to go to an EPCC campus to access those services, right? They can have a meeting with a CSD counselor, and the meeting can be virtual. The parents can be in attendance if the student allows, and the high school counselor can submit documentation to assist our CSD counselor in determining accommodations. But accommodations have to be established by EPCC and sent directly to the instructor of record for us to be able to grant credit. I hope that Mr. Tinoco, that answered the question. If you have any questions, again, we have Ms. Lopez, who is the director of the CSD, and Carmen Castillo-Atar, who is our lead counselor, who are more than happy to talk to your high school administration or to counselors at the high school to make sure that that process is being followed. All right. Mr. Macias asks, how can we find out who our faculty coordinator is? Oh, that's a great question, Mr. Macias. We do have kind of like a master list. My office, I think all of the division offices have a master list. But if you tell us what your discipline is and what your high school is, we might be able to figure it out right now. You can maybe post that in the chat. And by the way, faculty coordinators, and it rotates. So Mr. Macias, automotive technology, that's very easy. Mr. Elaviano Willard, or Willie, is the faculty coordinator for automotive technology. I'm going to type his name. Yes, Ed Byler. Great question. And he's probably the person who has assessed your facilities. Usually faculty coordinators for a specific program go to the high schools to conduct facilities assessments. But so something else that I would like, and I'm sure Lorena and Sue, I don't want to, take part of your presentation away, but I'm sure that you can always go to epcc.edu, go to the search section, select the person that you want to look up. So you can type Laviana Willers and you will get that person's phone number and email address, and you can certainly communicate with them that way. I think there were a couple of other events that I did not mention. So I think I left off in the workshops, right? I believe Right. So we did have the Counseling Institute. We do have a Professional Development Day on Thursday, September 22nd, which means that some of our offices might be closed and some of our services might be limited. So just a heads up for that. We do have our 9th annual Dual Credit Conference, Building Bridges, on Saturday, October 22nd. We will have some pre-conference sessions Tuesday through Thursday. And I hope to see all of you or many of you. Did I type his name correctly? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Good. Thank you, Lorraine. And I hope to see all of you there. Our keynote speaker is going to be from Just from the Future. I usually try to invite folks from elsewhere in the state or the nation who are involved with the work that we do to give us some perspective, right? We don't know when we're involved in what we do in the region. Sometimes we don't realize what a great job we're doing until we hear somebody from outside of our region or outside the state, and we compare ourselves, right? So really, El Paso is a model nationwide. And the job that you do, the job that all of us do, is so important. So thank you so much for everything you do. I hope to see many of you on Wednesday for the facilitator session. I will be answering questions from the chat, and I'm going to pass it on to Sue and Lorena. Remember our EPCC page. Please call us, email us. Now we have the Get Connected button that connects you to a dual credit counselor or advisor. So please help us in any question that you have. We'll be more than happy to either give you an answer, and if we don't have an answer, try to look for one. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Medeo. Lorena, do you want to join me too?
Yes. Sue, we had a quick question about Professional Development Day. I don't know if you want to answer that now.
Sure, why don't we? We do have about 8 minutes left. And we have,
Yeah, I want to make sure we get the
we're going
questions
to kind of
answered.
condense some of the stuff that we had planned on doing. What was it? I don't see the question.
Our
about
class is
professional
canceled on the Professional Development Day.
They are at EPCC until 5 p.m., correct?
Yes, anything before 5 p.m. is canceled. Evening classes will
Right.
still meet.
That, of course, I don't think applies to your high school campus.
Unless they're sending students to.
Unless they're, yes,
Right.
unless they're sending students, absolutely. Correct.
Will Building Bridges be in person or online? We were aiming for in person, but it didn't work out this year. It will be virtual, so look out for that information fairly soon, maybe middle of September. We should have some announcements out. But we're planning a big thing for our 10th
Right.
conference in 2023.
I just wrote that in the chat.
Mhm.
Hopefully we can celebrate our 10th in person. So
Yeah.
we'll see you then, I hope, and we'll see you before. So just to kind of wrap up, we were thinking of doing something a little bit different this time around. It occurs to us that we don't always celebrate all the great things that all of you do, and that leads to the success of our students, right? And so we thought we would do some good news. And Tima Dio gave me some last minute good news that we couldn't make it to the slide in time. She was just telling us today that the district, the TEA district and school rankings are out. And Anthony, Canutillo, Del City, and Isleta all had an A rating for districts and schools. And then Harmony, Triumph, and El Paso Academy had A ratings for the charter schools. So that is a bit of good news, and congratulations to them. Our president, Dr. Serrata, often says kudos. So we won't say kudos too much, but this is kind of a good news kudos section. We just wanted to start out with just congratulating all of the graduates. And of course, those of you that helped the graduates graduate, good job. And we're so happy to see, as Diva Dio says, there's over 5,000 graduates. We don't have the numbers for this year though. So there's a picture of them. I think the next slide is by Verde. What happened was I started looking at all the Twitter feeds, and there was just way too much information. And this is something that I had posted a while back on the Facebook page. So if you have good news, you can send me stuff and I can put it on the Facebook page if it's we're able to do that. This is by Verde Early College High School, and they're ranked #1 in the Estrada ISD district. And they just talk, it's according to Niche, a leading platform connecting students with colleges and schools. And so they were #1 on the 2022 best schools in El Paso. So congratulations to them. In the next slide, I did solicit information from administrators. And so there were a few administrators that did send some things along. Ms. Lopez from TMAX, Trans Mountain Early College High School, shared the U.S. News and World Report. They were #1 in El Paso Independent School District for their early college high school rankings, #2 in El Paso, and then 458, I think you said 428, sorry, that's
428.
kind of small. And I had it written down here too, yeah, 428 in national rankings, so congratulations to them. They've also had a lot of impressive recognition for their efforts to include young women in computer science. I think that next slide actually shows that too, Lorena. And so I think, that's a great thing that they're doing, and it's a move to get more young women and women in sciences, and this in particular is the computer sciences, accelerating women's success. And they also had lots of accolades. Ms. Lopez said she wanted to toot their horn if she could, so I let her do it. District winners in literary criticism, calculator number sense. This was UIL competitions, and then the sweepstakes from the Texas Association of Student Councils for outstanding student council and superior scrapbooks. So I will give them a kudos, Lorraine.
Yeah, I think so. And I would just want to add, for recruiting purposes, I think it's important to show students that they can still do UIL events, student council things at an early
Absolutely.
college. Yeah. So it's
That's
great
really a
to
good
see
point.
these awards.
Right. And I think that is a downside. If you're at a school within a school, it's a little bit different, but in an early college, high school that's dedicated on a campus, some of those extracurricular activities are not the same maybe, but they do provide a lot of
Yes.
activities for the students.
Mhm.
Robert Trejo out at Mountain View
View.
also, Mountain View, right? Sent this in, Pathways in Technology at Early College High School, Health Professions Academy at Mountain View High School. They just completed their first year. You can see all those white coats, and they're welcome their second cohort. So they're well on their way to graduating students. This happened a little while ago. I did put it on the Facebook page, and it was just a shout out to Kenny Tito ISD. Of course, they just got the A rating too, so they're doing well. And they were named, I think this was in April, named the best small school district in Texas at the 20th Annual HEB Excellence in Educator Award. So congratulations to them for that. And at Northwest Early College High School, we had Mr. Martinez, Miguel Martinez, who is their 2022-23 Teacher of the Year at Northwest High School. He teaches economics and world history. And so congratulations to him. I saw a lot of things like senior sunrises and, T-STEM camps and boot camps and all kinds of things that you guys all participated in during the summer. And so we just wanted to thank you for providing all of those activities and such success for our students.
It's great to see that while the pandemic changed a lot of things, many things just kept going in the right direction and excelling. So it's been great to see this good news.
Absolutely.
Okay, we have 1 minute, so we're gonna quickly go through the last part of our slides, but we're designing it in that way. I think we can go a little faster.
Okay.
But instead of just kind of giving information, we just want to make sure that everybody's up to date on things, especially with that SACS visit coming. So we kind of worded this as the did you know section, but just some reminders. This one actually may not be well known because it's more of an internal college item here. But as a college, we do have standing committees dedicated to technology. What else, Sue, is there? First time in college, developmental education. And one of our standing committees is for dual credit instructional work. So this committee meets once a month. It's made up of administrators, coordinators, college instructors on our campuses. And we work to implement our dual credit program. We work on procedures. But one big thing that we have been working on, and I want to toot my own horn on this because I was chair this past year, and we've made really good work updating our website. So if you have a chance, go to the dual credit website, see what we've done. We've changed a couple of things. We have a lot of information in our document section, and it was a little bit maybe not as intuitive to navigate as we previously had it. So we've done a reorganization that may be a little bit easier for you. So if you have some questions on textbooks, I think Sue is going to cover that in a little bit, but just kind of basic information, you know, actually one good plug for this, we are recording this session. So in a few weeks, this PowerPoint with the recording link will be posted on the dual credit website. So if you came in late or if you were kicked off for a little bit, you can always go back and review the recording, and it's on that dual credit site. So we ask, please take a look, and if you see something that you think you can add to it, please let Sue and I know. We'll take that to the committee and discuss it further. So ideas, we're always looking for ideas and information that maybe you all can help us identify. Sue?
And did you know that we have a list, and many of you do know this, but some of you that are new might not know that we have a list of current required college textbooks that can be found. It's called the dual credit textbook adoption list. It's found on the dual credit website that Lorena was just talking about. And there is the information, and you can find that link pretty easily on the dual credit site. The trick is that sometimes your current, and this would be the next slide, Lorena, your current textbook is not the one you're using because your district, not just school, might have bought the book and they have a 4-year window of use for most disciplines. There are some exceptions, but there is a textbook tracking system, and it's housed in the Office of the Dean of Dual Credit at Early College High School, Tony Video. And the information I think is coming. Her name is S.B. Gomez, and she works for Dean Video, and she keeps track of textbooks, so you can find out which textbook you are actually using if you think it's a different edition from the one that's on the textbook list.
Yes, I know I've seen emails of, I'm still on the 10th edition, but I see
Right.
you're working on the 11th, and that's
Right.
okay. There is some overlap time in that.
There is.
The next one, we talked a little bit about this earlier, so I'm glad we had that discussion. As adjunct faculty, classroom evaluation should be done once a year for the first 5 years, and then 2 years after that, every 2 years after that. So if you are new to teaching with us, you will be evaluated within that first year. If you kind of see that you haven't been evaluated, please contact your coordinator. You know, maybe it's one of those cases where it's a cluster situation. So I think you all knowing this information helps us keep ourselves accountable and vice versa. So just keep in mind that evaluations do happen. And something that Sue has brought to our attention, our classroom evaluations, I know at high schools, they can be very stressful, very involved. Ours are important, and we do want to take them seriously. But I think from our perspective, we want to just make sure the content is being delivered, like Dr. Gorola was concerned with earlier. We want to help instructors get in contact with the right resources to improve their classrooms and more in that sense. So I know the public school evaluation can be really intense. My mom was a teacher for many years, and I saw her go through that. So ours is a little bit different, but equally important. Next one, Sue.
And did you know that this is an important one? And sometimes that people, those of you that teach in the schools, don't know this. Dropping a class can affect a student's financial aid and may have other future consequences. So it doesn't mean that students shouldn't drop, but you have to understand that down the road, even though they're not they don't take advantage of financial aid while they're in high school, once they go to another institution, that can affect their financial aid. So it's best to contact our EPCC dual credit counselor or advisor and to find out about those consequences and implications.
Next one. Did you know for instructor absences longer than 3 days, only a credentialed instructor may substitute? So this is a really important one for our accreditation and a bunch of other parts of the college. But we understand everybody's getting sick, especially in this world we live in now. But if you're out for more than those days, we do need to make sure to contact your dean's office, your discipline coordinator, so we can coordinate a substitute in there, because only credentialed instructors for that field can substitute for that class. There's been cases of instructors out for FMLA that we don't hear about until a few months later, and that's really not the process we want to take. So just getting this information out there, we want to make sure we understand more than 3 days, consecutive days, we do need a credentialed instructor. And
that really can result in that class not having to be changed too, right?
yes,
So
yes,
it's
yeah.
really
You
important.
may need to switch instructor of record if the situation calls for it.
And this one is an interesting one. As a credentialed college instructor, you're considered an expert in the field. And where this comes from is oftentimes, as a coordinator myself for speech, I will have instructors who will say, well, we haven't had any training on our subject matter. We haven't had any training on the book, or we haven't had any training in this course. And you know what? I didn't have any training. Lorena didn't have any training. When you're a college instructor, you're kind of considered that expert in your field. And it doesn't mean that your colleagues are not going to help you. Your coordinator, especially if you're new, your coordinators are going to help you deliver that content. But you really are the subject matter expert. And so you probably shouldn't expect too much content training as you might have maybe in the schools.
Which I think is a good thing, because you can make the college material your own, right? How
Sure.
you want to present it. You're not
Within the
stuck
guidelines,
into
of
within
course.
the outline, the objectives,
two,
course
yeah,
objectives.
right.
Mhm.
Right.
So we had a question. Does the absences count for COVID, considering people are usually out for 5 days?
Maybe
Bing?
Deepa Dio wants to comment on that one.
Hi. Let me jump in on that one. So remember that we typically have our college courses, right? Our Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday. So for us, when we say 3 days, we really mean a week. And typically that's the time that if somebody's out with COVID, that's the time that they have to be out. Now, everybody can be sick, right? I mean, that happens. And typically we don't have to have a substitute for every single class. If there's a possibility for students to do some assignments, right, for that particular week or those particular classes, that's fine. What we don't want is 2 or more weeks, right, that go by and there's a substitute in the class. There isn't a credentialed instructor in the class. So please be aware of that. Reach out to your coordinator and explain the situation. Sometimes every situation is a little bit different. Every faculty member, adjunct, dual credit, full-time, has access to a Blackboard shell. And we ask that you always upload your syllabus and keep up your Blackboard gradebook. But that is also a fantastic place to have content, right, for the class, have quizzes, have a number of activities that will allow you to, get better, get some rest, and come back strong without the need of a substitute.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that that answers your question.
Jane Pines had an interesting comment too. She said she was out for 8 days, but she taught from home via live and videotape coursework last March. And this was on urban.
That is not a problem. Yeah, that is not a problem.
So we're almost done. One more. Did you know? We again talked a little bit about this earlier as well, that students, college students do fall under the Americans with Disabilities Act. They're eligible to receive services. Those are accommodations, not modifications. And we put the website, the CSD website was in the chat earlier. If you do have questions, please contact them. like Dean Badillo said, we're working to streamline that process a little bit more for your students. And I think that was it, Sue. We're just 9 minutes past.
And we're sorry for that, but we wanted to share our information. So.
Yes, and the discussions that we had today, I think were really great, and the questions that were brought up, I think everybody can find useful.
Alfredo Macias is asking, were we supposed to receive an email about tomorrow's faculty expo?
If you were new, correct, Dean?
Right. Yeah, the faculty expo is for the new faculty orientation.
Right, right. So this is again by invitation only through your division dean. And so if you started teaching for us in the spring, or you're going to start teaching for us this fall, then you should have received an invitation. It could have been to your EPCC email, so you might want to check that if you are brand new. If not, then you did not. I hope this answered the question.
Any others? Where do we sign up for the facilitator training? You don't really have to sign up. If you are a facilitator and not an instructor, how do they, I think your dual credit contact was supposed to give you the link, but you can always contact either Lorena or I.
Yes,
and we
Mr.
can
Hernandez,
set
if you want to put your email in the chat, I could forward you the invite right now.
There you go.
Mhm.
She's the technical whiz. There it is. Are you starting this fall or in the spring? Oh, I'm sorry. That was you, Dean Badillo.
Yeah, I want to see if I can assist Mr. Macias.
Sorry.
Mr. Macias, can you unmute and maybe tell us a little bit about your assignment?
Yes, ma'am. I am the automotive technology instructor for Eastlet ISD. I never got an email about the faculty expo, and I'm just wondering if I need to attend. I want to attend. I just want to make sure that I have the information I need.
Sure. I'm going to reach out to Dr. Pagel. She is the Dean for Automotive Technology. And or maybe even better, can you email her? Here is her email address. And just ask her that question, if you are supposed to attend tomorrow's new faculty orientation. All right, thank you, sir.
Lorena, someone was asking, was there a place to sign in?
Yes, let me get the
Can we
link.
do
I
this?
think we need to sign in quickly because I believe they close after.
So many minutes, right? Okay, well, maybe we should thank everybody and bid everyone adieu. And if you still have questions, you can stick around. Would that be okay?
Yes, and then we can stop the recording as well.
Thank you. Mr. Contreras, what do you teach and where?